Hey Krishna everyone. So today we're diving into chapter 1 of the Bhagavad-Gītā as it is. This chapter is absolutely crucial because it sets the entire stage. It's all about this profound spiritual crisis that Arjuna goes through, which really paves the way for all the divine knowledge that Lord Kṛṣṇa is about to share. You know, the entire Bhagavad-Gītā, this ocean of knowledge, all kicks off with this one single question from the blind king, Dhṛtarāṣṭra. He asks Sañjaya, okay, so my sons and the sons of Pandu are gathered on this holy field. What did they do? But did you catch that? My sons and the sons of Pandu. Right from the get-go, Srila Prabhupada in his purport just nails it. He points out the king's partiality. It's not our sons or the cousins. His heart is already divided, and that division reveals a deep, deep fear.
So where does this fear come from? Well, it's all about the location. The battle is happening at Kurukṣetra, and as Srila Prabhupada explains, this isn't just any piece of land, it's a dharmāḥ, a holy place of pilgrimage, and Dhṛtarāṣṭra is absolutely terrified of what that means.
So what's he so worried about? Well, he knows his own sons. And he knows the Pandavas. The Pandavas are virtuous by nature. And this place, Kurukṣetra, it has a holy influence. It's like a spiritual amplifier for righteousness. So Dhṛtarāṣṭra's biggest fear is that this holy place might influence everyone to just make a deal, to have a compromise. And that's the last thing he wants. He's banking on a total victory for his side. He's afraid that this dharmāḥ will act just like a farmer and, weed out all the irreligious plants, which he suspects are his own sons.
And it's funny, right? That same fear we see in the king's heart? Well, it's perfectly mirrored on the battlefield, right in his son, Duryodhana.
Okay, so now we're on the field. Duryodhana looks across and sees the Pandavas' army formation, this expert military arrangement, and he immediately rushes over to his teacher and commander, Dronacharya. He starts talking, and he sounds like a great politician, all confident and in charge. But as we're about to see, it's all just a front.
And this is where Srila Prabhupada gives us this incredible psychological insight. He says that, yeah, Duryodhana's got this diplomatic veneer, but it can't hide the fear he feels. That expertly arranged army of the Pandavas, it genuinely terrified him.
So how does he deal with this fear? He does what politicians do best. He starts spinning. He goes to Drona and starts this whole speech. You can just hear him trying to puff himself up. He's like, look at our guys, Bhishma, Karna. Our strength is immeasurable. We're full of heroes who are always victorious. And then he looks at the other side and says, oh, them? Their strength is limited. They're just protected by Bhima. It's such a classic attempt to boost morale, but really, it just shows how nervous he actually is.
Okay, so the speeches are done. And then the sound comes. The conch shells blow, signaling the start of the battle. But this isn't just noise. Pay close attention, because the sound from each side tells you everything you need to know. It's the sound of destiny versus the sound of doubt.
So first, on the Kaurava side, the great Bhishma blows his conch shell. He does it to try and give his grandson Duryodhana some courage. And then their whole army erupts with this huge, tumultuous noise. But then, from the Pandava side, Lord Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna sound their conch shells. And these aren't just normal conch shells, they are transcendental. The effect? The Gita says the sound shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. It wasn't just loud, it was spiritually potent.
And Srila Prabhupada explains exactly why. That sound wasn't just a battle cry, it was basically a prophecy. It was a declaration of victory. And why were they so sure? Because Lord Kṛṣṇa himself, the supreme personality of Godhead, was on their side. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there. It's a package deal. So really, the outcome of the war was already sealed at that very moment.
So, victory seems certain, right? The signs are all there. But right at this critical moment, the entire focus of the chapter suddenly shifts to the greatest warrior on the field, Arjuna. Now, it's important to remember that Arjuna is a pure devotee. He doesn't have this burning personal ambition to fight. So he turns to his charioteer, who is, of course, Lord Kṛṣṇa himself, and he says, please draw my chariot between the two armies. He's not looking for a fight. He just wants to see who are these people who are so eager to fight, just to please the evil-minded Duryodhana. And when Kṛṣṇa places the chariot there, what does Arjuna see? He sees his family.
not just an enemy army. He sees his grandfather, Bhishma. He sees his own teacher, Dronacharya. He sees uncles, cousins, brothers, even sons and grandsons, friends, well-wishers, everyone he loves and respects, standing on the other side, ready to die. And in that moment, something inside the great warrior just breaks. He is totally, utterly overwhelmed with compassion. And this is the turning point of the whole chapter. This compassion, which Srila Prabhupada clarifies is a misguided compassion born from bodily attachment, it leads to a complete collapse of his resolve. He just can't do it. And so he starts laying out his case to Krishna, giving 5 very logical-sounding reasons why he should not fight. Let's quickly walk through his 5 arguments. First up is just raw, misguided compassion. He says, I see no good in killing my own family. Then, number 2 is loss of enjoyment. He's like, what's the point of winning a kingdom if all my relatives are gone? Who would I even enjoy it with? His third point is the fear of sinful reactions. He's worried that killing his kinsmen, even though they're the aggressors, will bring terrible karma upon him. Fourth, he's thinking long-term, the destruction of the family. He argues that if the elders are killed, the family traditions will be lost, and irreligion will rise. And that leads to his 5th and final point, total societal collapse. He fears that this irreligion will lead to corrupted families, unwanted children, and basically send the whole of society to hell. And you can see this isn't just an intellectual argument for him. His whole body is reacting. The scriptures say he starts to tremble, his hair stands on end, his skin is burning, and his legendary bow, the Gandiva, literally slips from his hand. And Srila Prabhupada makes a really important distinction here in the purport. He says, these are not signs of spiritual ecstasy. This is pure material fear. It's fear that comes from identifying with the body and being terrified of loss. So after making all his arguments, completely overcome by this grief and confusion, Arjuna makes his decision for this chapter. And here it is, the final image of the chapter. Sañjaya reports that Arjuna, after speaking, just casts aside his bow and arrows and sits down on the chariot, his mind just completely overwhelmed with grief. Think about that. The greatest warrior on the planet is defeated before the first arrow is even fired. And he's not defeated by an enemy, he's defeated by his own mind. And this is what makes the Bhagavad-Gītā so brilliant. This is the perfect setup. The problem has been laid out perfectly, with the world's greatest warrior defeated by his own mind. How can Dharma possibly be victorious? This incredible dilemma is what makes the words of Lord Kṛṣṇa, which we'll start to get into in Chapter 2, not just interesting, but absolutely essential. Hare Krishna.